Hi, thanks for gardening with me. I'm Melissa, and today I'm going to be planting up a fall container. I'm going to be planting it up with some coleus, Jacob's ladder, some carex grass, and a few things from around the house. I do like to plant up my fall containers with some perennials. That way, at the end of the season, I can dig them up, put them in the yard, and have them for years to come. So I did already take out the plants that I had in here. I have them sitting in pots and waiting to be planted out in the yard. The things that I did have in here before were plants that I could put out in the yard. Most of them were perennials. I think one of them was a calla lily. So, and also another coleus, but it wasn't the same color. It had pinks in it. And those are annuals, but I can definitely go plant those out in the yard and still get plenty of use out of them there for the rest of the season. This planter I'm going to plant up super thick, and the reason why I'm doing that is because there's not a whole lot more time left in the season for these plants to get huge. They will get bigger, but I don't think that they need a whole lot of space for the roots to grow and expand. So I have this pot, it's halfway full. I took out half of the soil, and the reason why I took out half of the soil is just so I can put fresh in here. I didn't feel the need to take all of the soil out. Now, if it were spring, I would have taken all the soil out. But I did leave half the soil in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of soil in there to start with. Not a whole lot, because I have a lot of roots here that I'm going to be working around. And then I can just fill it in around them as I go. So I would normally put my starter fertilizer in here. Can't find it. I just used it yesterday. I don't know what I did with it. I'm sure I'll find it after I'm done here and I don't need it anymore. But Garden Tone has fertilizer in it too, and it'll work just fine for what I need here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my soil up against the sides so that I know when I put my roots in here that there's going to be soil all the way around the root balls. And typically I like to do filler, thriller, and a spiller when I do my plantings. I already have this vinca vine in here, so I'm going to just go ahead and leave that in there for now. And I am going to go ahead and put this coleus in here first. Now before I do this, I want to tell you, this coleus has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plants in it. And if I were to buy each one of these plants, they would probably be $4 or $5 each, and I got all of these for $13. So that's a savings of over $10. So that's something that you want to keep in mind when you go to the store. Sometimes they will have things planted up and already put in a planter, and a lot of times you can get the flowers or the plants for a lot less expensive if you buy them that way. They also had a heuchera, and they had 5 different plants in there, and that was $32, and I almost got that, but that was a savings of like $20 if I were to have gotten that. So anyway, this time of year I'm kind of looking for bargains, because especially this year I feel like I've spent so much money on flowers. By the way, Tony, if you're watching this, I did not buy all these. A lot of these are from around the yard, so keep that in mind. But I'm going to go ahead and plant these up. And how you want to take them out is just put your hand across the top. And I'm not going to break up any of these roots because they're annuals. If they were perennials, I would consider breaking them up, but since they're annuals, I'm not. So I would like to have this to where it's kind of angled going outside of the pot. I'm just going to put a few things tucked underneath there so it's kind of angled going out that direction, and I'll add a little bit more soil. Okay, that looks good. Now in the front, I think I would like to have one of these carex off to the side here, and I just think this is beautiful and really looking forward to planting this out here in the front landscape after I dig it up out of the pot in the fall. That one looks really good. Put that right up here in the corner in the front. Kind of have that spilling over the edge. And you can kind of smush the roots together to get it tucked in there the way that you want it. And then right beside that, I'm going to do this variegated Jacob's ladder. Now this is another gorgeous perennial, and I think it just will brighten up any shady spot. Oh, I just think it looks so beautiful already. Now, I can get away with doing a fall planter in August because it really does go with my color theme that I have out here anyway. And then what I'll do is when it gets a little closer to fall, I will go ahead and bring out my pumpkins and gourds and scarecrows and things like that to just kind of really send home the fall theme. Now I'm going to tuck this other one in right next to that. Get a good spot in there. Beautiful. Tuck that right under there, and I think I need some more soil under that one to bring it up a little bit. So I do like to have my plants in the container have about an inch from the top of the container so that when you water, the water doesn't spill out and make a mess all over the place. And I think I have room for, I think I have room for one more in there. Do I need one more in there? Don't think I do, because this sits back against the wall. If I could see it from all sides, I would probably stick another one in there, but since I can't, I don't think I'm going to. But I am going to go ahead and tuck this little guy in the front. For my spiller. Enough room to put this one right here in the front. And I will probably have to trim him up a bit. So pretty. And I think I'm going to be able to fit this other guy right in here next to this vinca. There we go. It's nice and full. Now I do have this space in the back that I decided not to plant up, and that is just because it's going to be right against the house, so nobody would see that anyway. So there's no point in wasting that beautiful plant there. But what I will do is go ahead and grab another planter and plant it next to it. there we have two sweet little planters all set for fall. I think they turned out great. Time to water them in, and then I'm going to get inside before it starts storming.